were trying to protect you, were scared to lose you, were doing this. Most of the times, African parents would not explain the why. They would not explain the why to you. They will just do what they will do, and eventually when you grow up, you will now see the why, right? Why would they do this? They know these people now. I was angry, I was hurt, I didn't feel in that moment, I didn't know that they had my best interest at heart. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Comfort here. If you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. If you're a returning subscriber, you're welcome. Thank you so much. If you've been following my series of this month, you will know that this month we've been talking about parents and purpose. So for this video, I'm sharing a bit of a story of when my parents seized something from me because they wanted to teach me something. At that time, I did not see it as being taught. I'm sharing my real experience with my parents when they seized my phone because of something I did. So I was a high school graduate. I had graduated from secondary school, but I stayed 1 year at home because I did not get admission immediately. So there was this day that I went to register for JAM. I think it was JAM I went to register for, or either I went to print out my JAM slip, something like that, right? I got what I wanted, and then instead of me to come back home, I went to visit a friend of mine. Now, that friend of mine, she and her family are like a family friend to us. So my family also, know them. But then I visited them and I stayed there up until evening. I didn't call my family to tell them, oh, I branched somewhere, I'm not coming home now. I just left and I didn't come home up until evening. I did not know that they were looking for me and they were wondering why I stayed this long. Bear in mind, I had a phone at that time, but I didn't even know why. I can't remember what happened around my phone that time. Either it was that my phone was off or not reachable or something, but I had a phone, right? But on my own part, I didn't remember to call to inform them that I'm not going to come back home. I just went there, stayed up until evening, and then I was back home. When I got back home, to my surprise, my parents were tensed. The whole environment was tensed at that time. I was wondering why, like, did anything happen? And they were like, what happened to me? I'm like, oh, I went to this so and so person's house. My dad was like, go and kneel down in the parlor. Bear in mind, I was a secondary school graduate at that time. I knelt down, and I can't even remember. My dad just, I knelt down for a long period of time. My mom was, talking. She was a bit all over the place. Like, how will I put them in so much pressure? They were under pressure. They were thinking something happened to me. I didn't call them. I didn't inform them. Who does that? Yada, yada. After I knelt down for a long period of time, now I can't remember how long, my dad just came and said, let me have that phone. I gave him the phone. He took it, and there it was. I did not have food again. My daddy spoke to me. If you know me and you know my family, you know my dad, sometimes you would prefer that my dad just beats you rather than talking to you. My daddy talked a lot. In fact, he brought me to tears. But then after that tears, when I eventually stood up and went to my room, I was like, but this person that I went to their house, is not a new person now. They know these people, you get. So when I went to the room, I was, so angry, like, why would they do this? She also come to my own house. I was angry, I was hurt, I didn't feel. In that moment, I didn't know that they had my best interest at heart as the reason why, they did that. So my dad seized my phone for maybe about a week. He gave me the phone back, but he just needed to set that into my head that I'm your father. Now, in Africa, most of the times our parents will seize things from us, not because they just think that's the best way to punish you, but they just need you to refocus, just in case you're thinking that that phone that you have is the one that is now distracting you, to forget your morals, to forget where you come from, to forget the values that you carry. They are going to collect certain things or see certain things from you, just so that you reset and you refocus your brain. Some of the reasons why I think parents, seize those things from us is to enforce discipline, right? They want to teach us to be disciplined people. Disciplined in the sense that now I can, now, of course, now I understand better. The knowledge I have now is different from what I knew then. All I knew then was my parents hated me, because it's not as if it's a random person's house I went to. But now I understood, they wanted me to be disciplined. They wanted me to understand that they are the ones in control. They are my parents. I'm under someone. I should show that respect and regard for them. And also, sometimes they may seize our things to, enforce or show us or teach us delayed gratification, right? I know that there are certain people that, well, maybe you grew up in a family that almost everything was just was easy for you. Your parents provided everything. Trust me. When you see that sometimes they see certain things from us, it's because they want us to learn to trust the process and not think that, oh, life is ABC. Life is like this. Life is like this. My parents are always going to provide this for me. My parents are always going to do this for me. I'm going to nursery, primary, secondary, up to my tertiary institution. Someone was paying, fending for me, feeding me. Sometimes they would want us to understand that there's a part where we'd also have to play. We're not going to be children for the rest of our lives. We would get married, we would have our own children, then we have to start providing for them. So if they don't enforce, this level of delayed gratification in us, knowing that there's time for everything, we may not understand it when we should. And when we're supposed to understand it, it may be late. Sometimes also is to protect us, right? Because, like I explained, that time I had just graduated high school, and there's a rule in my home that is after high school you would have a phone. So after high school, of course, when I went to a boarding school. So when I came back from school, my phone was already waiting for me. My dad had already bought a phone and kept it for me. When I got back home after SS3, he handed it over to me. Brand new phone. I was happy, but there came a time where he had to seize that phone, the same person that bought a phone for me. So he really needed to do that, so that he would also another thing is so that he would protect me. Don't forget, we live in a digital age right now where children have so much access than they should. You get, as parents, the best and the first thing they are going to do is try to block you from having access to some of these things, right? So that was the first thing, the best thing they thought to do at that moment. Now that I know better, I also agree with that step that they took, because, of course, no, I don't need a prophet to tell me next time that if I go out and I go somewhere and I need to branch, I would have to inform my parents before going there. Even as adults now, I don't think it's a norm for you to just be somewhere and there's nobody that knows where you are. It's wrong. Even as adults, let's even talk about security, the happenings that is going on in our world right now. It is very wrong that you're somewhere and nobody knows where you are except the person you're together with. It's not safe. It's not safe. So, knowing what I know now, I'm thankful that they did what they did, because, of course, I never had that kind of experience with them again. I knew that if I needed to go somewhere, I must communicate before doing that. Even if the person I'm seeing is somebody they know, it does not matter who I'm seeing, I must communicate this to them. Sometimes our parents may not be able to come out openly to say, oh, we're trying to protect you, we're scared to lose you, we're doing this. Most of the times, African parents would not explain the why. They would not explain the why to you. They will just do what they will do, and eventually when you grow up, you will now see the why, right? That's the difference, I think, with parenting then and now. Because Children nowadays would want to know the why, but then all our parents did was do. They just did. They would not explain the why. They would just do it. When you grow up, you would understand the why we were doing what we did. Like, I now understand why they did what they did. So that's one of my story growing up, where my parents had to see something from me because they wanted to enforce discipline. This brings me to ask, if your parents have ever seized something from you, how did you feel about it then? How do you feel about it now? Let me know in the comments. Let's talk. You know how we do these things. Let's just. And with this, we've come to the end of this video. Please make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Turn on post notification, please, and subscribe to my channel. Why have you not subscribed? If you subscribe to my channel, if you have not, thank you for subscribing. Until next time, Comfort signing out. Nagamaya. How many minutes? 16.